All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome. Las Vegas, 10 a.m. Christian XC1 review covering Las Vegas and the world. It's time for the weekly NFL Live Reaction Sunday show. We have got some really good ones today. Indianapolis versus Jacksonville, Baltimore versus Pittsburgh, Buffalo versus Cincinnati. We have got some really good ones today to determine different playoff spots. Buffalo cannot look past Cincinnati today. And I believe Baltimore will beat Pittsburgh today. The winner of that game will be first place in the AFC North with 4 left to go for both of those teams. I'm Christian XC1 Review Las Vegas. Thanks so much for joining us again today, as always. We'll be here for all the early games today. Be here till around probably 4:25 p.m. Eastern Time, 1:25 p.m. Eastern Pacific Time here in Las Vegas, in the entertainment capital of the world. We watch the games live with you. Give us our thoughts as the day goes on. We'll be here in the chat as always. Thank you so much for being here today. We greatly appreciate all of your support and help. And as always, feel free to put some comments in this section as always, and we really appreciate that. But thank you so much. Hope you have a great day. Hope everyone is enjoying their weekend and is having a great holiday season so far. And thank you so much for being here today. As always, feel free to go over to the main channel. Every Wednesday, we do a college football segment with Lane Bobs. College football playoff spots are here. Bowl games are going to be announced later today, I imagine. It's that time of the year, but today we're going to be talking professional football. Other games today in the early slate: Seattle and Atlanta, Tennessee and the Browns are also playing today. And of course, Washington, Minnesota, and Miami, their last chance to do anything. Running out of time, must win all 5 games. They're at the New York Jets today, 5-7. And Tampa Bay, who needs to get another win today, will host the 2-10 New Orleans Saints. So we're here. We're ready. The kickoffs are about to begin. Thank you so much for joining us today here in Las Vegas. Indianapolis is going to kick to Jacksonville. This is a battle today for the first place in the AFC South. It'll be interesting to see if Indianapolis can find a way today. Good morning, Tom. Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate that. Buffalo can't look past Cincinnati today, as we were just talking about. Will be interesting to see how that begins. New Orleans has taken the kickoff all the way to the 45-yard line to start today. But yeah, Baltimore, Pittsburgh, Indianapolis, Jacksonville, Buffalo, Cincinnati, the most intriguing games of this 8-game slate today here in the early action of Week 14. And yes, the snow is incredible in Buffalo. It's that time of year. It's December Buffalo weather, of course. Yeah, I mean, again, but I don't think Cincinnati cares. Cincinnati is used to snowy, cold weather anyway, so I don't think it makes much of a difference, honestly, to tell you the truth. And Baltimore is starting off a little bit quickly. Again, I just think today will be the day where if things go right for Baltimore, they won't look back. They still have Pittsburgh one more time, I believe, in Week 18. But I don't think that Baltimore is going to look back after winning today if they're able to find a way to get it done at home. They'll be in first place, and then they would be the 4th seed in the playoffs at this given moment in time, which I think, based on how everything's going, I think they probably will be the 4th seed, maybe the 3, but I think the 4 is more likely, obviously, at this point. New Orleans Saints have the ball early against the Bucs. Bengals are starting early against the Bills. Again, Bengals just seem to me, after winning last week against the Ravens, it just seems to be one of these scenarios and situations where they might go on a run, but they're still not going to make the playoffs. Again, 5-7, a small chance. 4-8, I don't see how you get there again. I think you're going to need 10, 11 victories. I still believe you're going to need 11 to make the playoffs. I don't see how there's any chance. Miami doesn't really have a chance. They're still alive, but they have to win all 5. But again, Cincinnati just going to go on a tear here at the end, but they're not going to make the playoffs. Christian XC1 Review Las Vegas. Thank you all for joining us today. NFL Live Week 14 reactions beginning here. Thank you so much always for your support. It's really appreciated. We'll be here for all of the early games until the end, and looking forward to watching them today, obviously. We're getting to that stretch where there's a bunch of games where there's not a heck of a lot to play for. Some players are obviously playing for jobs and contracts and things like that, but other than that, it's pretty much what it is. Draft picks aplenty. But again, a lot of teams are just playing for pride right now, and that's what it is. Miami's already on a 1st and goal against the New York Jets here. Again, Miami has to win all 5 to even have a chance to make the playoffs. So it starts today. Well, division road games are tough, as we talk about every single week. Every single week we talk about how tough division road games are, and there's just those scenarios, right? Like, how often does Miami win in Buffalo? Not often. Probably the last 10 is, but Miami won 1 or 2 of those. Touchdown Miami, speaking of the Miami Dolphins early on, Dolphins rushed down the field against the New York Jets for an early touchdown pass to Mr. Jalen Waddle. Jalen Waddle with a touchdown pass from Tua early. Miami is up 6-0 with the pending extra point. Again, Miami must win today if they have any chance still to make the playoffs, which is very small anyway. But they must win today. They have to win 5. This is the first of the 5. Starting early on. Touchdown, Miami. Minnesota's already in the red zone against the Washington Commanders. Washington, tough break this year. Injury to Jalen Daniels kind of ruined their season after being in the NFC Championship game last year, losing to the Eagles, just barely missing the Super Bowl. Vikings have been disappointing this year. It could have been more from the Vikings, but just not a good year for the Minnesota Vikings, not last year's Minnesota Vikings teams, that's for sure. Game is at Minnesota. Minnesota's 4-8, no chance to make the playoffs, either of these teams. But again, playing for pride, playing for contracts, playing for all that stuff. So Minnesota gets on the board with a touchdown. Speaking of that, they're on the board early. There's a touchdown pass there. 6-0 Minnesota, pending extra point. Tennessee and the Browns. This is I don't know. I guess if Sanders Jr. doesn't show a good performance today against the Titans, I don't know what you look at for the rest of the year. I mean, again, if you just want to sell tickets, I'm sure the Browns are doing well today selling tickets, but not looking great. If you lose to the Titans. Cam Ward with the Titans trying to get them to 2 victories on the year. The Titans right now probably have the number 1 draft pick overall, obviously, with their 1-11 record. Brown and the Titans are going to get on the board early with a touchdown when you have 2 teams that have nothing to play for. Touchdown, Tennessee. Alec Amaniar with the touchdown from Cam Ward. 6-0 Titans over the Browns early for the 0.001% of you who have Cam Ward starting today, and he runs and he throws for 3 touchdowns. Yeah, well, I agree with you on that. There is no chemistry, unfortunately, when you have so many different offensive line combinations. I'll agree with you on that. No score in Jacksonville and Indianapolis, but an early interception. Tom, I don't want to say the Colts are going to finish 9-8 or 8-9, but Daniel Jones with the interception there. I mean, has the magic finally worn off for the Indianapolis Colts? I guess we'll see by the end of the day. Looked really good a couple weeks ago, but not so much right now. Not so much right now. Jaguars are at the 20-yard line of the Colts. No score early there. Miami's already on the board. 7-0 Miami over the Jets. No score in Seattle and Atlanta. One game we haven't talked about today, but this is a trap game for the Seattle Seahawks. They have to find a way to keep it going today. And everyone wants to be good NFC West, NFC, the NFC side of the division. I mean, gosh, Again, Dallas is done after Detroit wins on Thursday Night Football. Um, again, I don't know. Again, looking at the wild card, probably 11 victories. It's going to be needed to get into the NFC side. Cincinnati has a pretty decent history playing at Buffalo over the last 10 years, if memory serves me right. Again, this is a game that Buffalo cannot take for granted today. They just can't take for granted at all. They absolutely cannot take that game for granted one bit. They cannot take that game for granted. First and goal for the Jaguars. Going to be close to first and goal for the Bengals as well here. Tough game in the snow today. 3rd and 1 coming up for the Bengals against the Bills. First and goal for the Bengals coming up against the Bills in the Buffalo snow. I think extra points are going to be fascinating today in Buffalo and Cincinnati, Tom. Jaguars inside the 5. Touchdown Bengals, 6-0 Bengals early. Let's see what this extra point is like. I'm fascinated to see that. Touchdown Jaguars at the same time. Travis Etienne Jr. with the touchdown for the Jacksonville Jaguars, making it 6-0. Jaguars are on their way to a 7-0 lead over the Colts. No score early on between the Ravens and the Steelers. Ravens throwing the ball down the field, making it happen. They're in field goal range already. Again, this is just the moment where I feel like the Steelers hot runs into cold, and the cold is continuing to be here, and the Ravens are going to be going from 1-5 to literally 7-6 in the division lead at this point. No score early on in Seattle and Atlanta. Again, tricky game today, I believe, for the Seattle Seahawks. Field goal attempt coming up for the Baltimore Ravens here. Falcons are inside the Seattle 20. Again, Atlanta, another team, nothing to play for. 4-8 on the season. Missed out on a lot of opportunities. Could have a couple more victories from different teams like the Jets and the Dolphins. Just playing for pride, but again, still playing competitive enough that they could beat Seattle today. Baltimore on the field for a field goal attempt. The kick is up, and that's good. It's going to be 3-0 Baltimore over Pittsburgh. Defense playing early well for the Tennessee Titans. They stopped the Browns on their opening drive. 7-0. Indeed he is, Tom, but it's like every NFL Sunday. It's a mixed bag. Either he is or he is not. When the Titans are getting to the Browns' offense, it's not a good situation. Titans for the win today, maybe. Too early to tell, but Titans seem motivated today so far. Falcons have decided to maybe go for it here. No, they're not going to go for it. They're going to kick the field goal. That's what they're going to do. Tampa Bay moving the ball against New Orleans. Tampa Bay must win today. 7-0 Saints already. Be a bad loss for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers if they lost this game. Tampa gets back on the board with a touchdown. They match the New Orleans Saints here. That is a 7-6 pending extra point. Nice pass by Baker Mayfield there to get that one done. Oh, Mayfield wasn't on the field. Excuse me. That was Mayfield. My apologies. Yeah, I mean, listen, if Deshaun is cleared to go and he's got all that guaranteed money anyway, so why not? You know what I'm saying? If that were the case. I mean, they want to just let this guy sit on the bench and collect those paychecks, and that's the NFL career. I mean, the reality of what it comes down to is that, I don't know what he's got left, but the reality is that, it doesn't really matter at this point. Again, when you're 3-9 on the NFL season, you're not going to the playoffs, so. Bills are already at midfield after being down to the Bengals 7-0. Bills are trying to drive back the other way. Listen, the one thing you can say, Tom, is that you're playing the worst defense in the NFL today. There should be a lot of open passes for the Buffalo Bills offense today against the Bengals, irrespective of what the snow is and everything else like that. To me, Bengals, again, can give up 50 every week if they wanted to. So, yeah. See if Pittsburgh can match Buffalo here. They're already near field goal range. I think it's likely that Buffalo is going to try to match Cincy here. Looking like it's been really easy for the Bills. It's got to be hard to tackle, by the way. It's got to be hard to tackle in that snow. It's got to be hard to hold the line as well on 3rd and 1s and 3rd and 2s in short field positions. We'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen. See if the Colts can match the Jaguars here inside the 5-yard line. Again, I just feel like the Colts and the Steelers are the slowdown teams. Good for the Steelers, who see if the Ravens can hold the Steelers on 3rd and goal here. Hold them to a field goal attempt. We'll see. Aaron Rodgers with a rushing touchdown. Will that be the last one we ever see from Aaron Rodgers' career? It's possible. That's not a common thing. 6-3 Steelers over the Ravens. Give the Steelers all the credit in the world. Wasn't expecting that one, but long game today. Division rivals. The Steelers and the Ravens playing each other. 6-3. Yeah, it's easy when you're able to fake out the defense and you've got no one chasing you down to the end zone, Tom. I mean, that also makes a huge difference here. Looks like it's starting to snow in Cleveland, by the way, also. Tennessee's still leading the Browns 7-0. Titans looking for their 2nd win of the NFL season. They are 1-11. Titans gave the Seahawks a capable game a couple weeks ago. They gave the Texans a capable game a couple weeks ago. So they've been competitive in all their losses, but Browns could go up here 10-0. Titans could go up 10-0 here at the very least. See if the Bengals can play defense, if Bengals can keep moving against the Bills. It's going to go to like the end of the first quarter, 7-3 Bengals over the Bills. Not expecting that one. I don't think a lot of people expected that score to start the day. That's for sure. Seattle is going to get a first down. Well, they fumble out of bounds, so probably going to be like 4th and 1 for the Seahawks. I'm guessing a field goal attempt is coming unless they want to go for it. 3-0 Atlanta. Atlanta, again, capable. Not a great record, but capable at least to stick around in games. Again, this is a tough game for Seattle today, I think. Tough game for Seattle. Got to get to 10-3 on the year. NFC's beyond competitive. One game will be the difference between you winning the division and playing in the wild card in this side of the bracket. So we'll see. The Seahawks get the Falcons to draw offside, so that's going to be an automatic first down. So Nice work on Seattle, and that is why Atlanta has 4 victories, ladies and gentlemen. Seattle first and goal here. Going to be a false start penalty, probably. Yep. Seattle's got about 15 yards away from the end zone here. Again, Seahawks need to get to 10-3 on the year. I mean, well, when you're the 1-11 Tennessee Titans, the turnovers are inevitable. Cleveland Browns defense getting bailed out there. Tennessee still leading 7-0. You know, the argument about I think that's going to be incomplete. Yep. The argument about Sanders is that he holds onto the ball for too long. He just holds onto the ball for too long. The Browns settle for a field goal. 7-3 Tennessee over the Browns. And we'll obviously talk about the college football playoff bracket. We'll talk about the college football playoff bracket at the near the halftime. A lot of thoughts there, obviously. Notre Dame gets left out. The Miami Hurricanes get in. Tulane Old Miss again for the second time this year. Wish we were seeing something different there. Alabama, Oklahoma. We'll see Alabama, Oklahoma again. Last time was great, but we'll see. I don't know. Maybe Alabama should not have got it. Maybe Notre Dame should have. Oregon, James Madison also. Interesting. Congratulations to both James Madison and Tulane. It will be very interesting to see how these two teams fare in the first round. You know, so we'll be talking about that at the half. But And my hats off to the fans of the Bengals and the Bills for sitting out in that weather, because you are diehards, ladies and gentlemen. You are diehards. 7-3. Cincinnati's trying to move the ball on Buffalo here. Got a catch in the back of the end zone. That's going to be a touchdown for Cincinnati. Tough break. T. Higgins with a touchdown for the Bengals from Joe Burrow. They'll review that. It looks good. What a catch. So I said at the beginning of the broadcast today, this was not a look-ahead game for Buffalo. A lot of time left, though, still, obviously. And again, you're playing the Cincinnati Bengals defense. Jacksonville gets on the board with another touchdown. That makes it 13-7 Jaguars over the Colts. Jacoby Myers with a touchdown from Trevor Lawrence. 13-7 Jacksonville over Indianapolis, pending extra point. Miami's up 14-0 on the Jets, and they're looking to go up 21-0 right now. Miami looking impressive today again. Too little, too late in the season much, but Miami looking to get to 6-7 on the year with 4 to play if they were to win today. Miami at the 2-yard line. 7-7 Bucks and Saints. Bucks are trying to get it going again. They're at midfield. Interesting enough that Iowa State and Kansas State are both going to be skipping bowl games. Be interesting to see who is next, the next two teams up. So Rice, Auburn, and Florida State all have chances to get into the bowl game, you know? Yeah, I mean, here's my response. Do they really even want to play that, Tom? I mean, do they even want to play that game? I'm sure Rice does, because all those guys, maybe except one, they're not. That's the last game of their college career if those are seniors, right? So I'm sure Rice does, but I just can't imagine that the FSU faithful is going to be up for that. Mike Norvell may be up for it because he knows that if he doesn't have a good season next year, he's on the chopping block. So maybe he wants to try to finish the season on a high note. Tennessee is running the ball. Tennessee is heading to the end zone, and they're going to be not tackled. Rushing touchdown for the Tennessee Titans. Tony Pollard with a touchdown for the Tennessee Titans. He made that one look, I don't know if he made it look easy, but it was a good run. 13-3 Titans over the Browns. Christian XC1 review covering Las Vegas and the world. The 1-11 Tennessee Titans just get on the board with a Tony Pollard rushing touchdown. 13-3 now. Tennessee over the Browns. That game is in Cleveland. It is snowing there. That rush was about 65 yards. For those of you who have Tony Pollard on your 1-week fantasy team in the flex position because he was minimal salary, you are smiling right now, ladies and gentlemen. Extra point is up and good. 14-3 Tennessee over the Browns. Shame Florida couldn't win one more game because they could be in that bowl game discussion, but it is what it is. I think at this point, that that Alabama Oklahoma game will be really good. I think that'll be good. In that first round, that was a good draw game at least. But look forward to seeing them and look forward to all the bowl announcements today. As always, we'll see who ends up playing in Las Vegas today. Also, in the Las Vegas Bowl, which I believe is on December 31st this year, if memory serves me right. Also, scores around the NFL: Seattle 3, Atlanta 3, 7-3 Pittsburgh over Baltimore, 14-3 Cincinnati over Buffalo, 14-3 Titans over the Browns, 1-11 Tennessee Titans looking for their second victory of the year. Miami is just creaming the Jets early. Good for Miami. I mean, it's interesting how the Jets played so well last week against the Falcons, and I thought they would get up for this game, but Miami's looking good so far. The Bills and Bengals game is going to be a long game, I think, Tom. That's going to be the last game to finish today, the way that they're playing. Seems like a slow-moving game. A lot of passes in the snow, a lot of clock stoppages there. Bills need to answer here with a touchdown, that's for sure. Nice screen pass by the Cleveland Browns. They're going to be inside the 5-yard line. This Browns-Titans game could go forever. I didn't even realize that the Browns-Titans game was still in the first quarter. That's incredible. Wow, Browns and Titans are still in the first quarter. That's incredible. Bills are going for it at midfield, 4th and 4 early. Bills keep it alive. That's why you have one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL right there. 1st and 10 for the Bills, about the Bengals 30. Jaguars 14, Colts 7 in the battle of the AFC South today. Game has a lot of playoff implications. And happy holidays to you too. Taking a look here while we're looking around the NFL. 7-0 Minnesota over Washington in a battle of who wants to win today. That's what I call that game. Who wants to win today? That's also Cleveland and Tennessee, honestly, to tell you the truth also. Who wants to win today? We'll call those games. So crazy is that we literally start Looking at something here. Hang on. Well, it looks like who's coming back from it right here. Cleveland Browns. No on the first and goal. No on the first and goal. See if the Bills can. It's going to be tough to kick field goals, I imagine, again today. I wonder if it's like 4 downs at every turn here when you're inside the red zone, right? I mean, I think it's going to be really tough to kick those field goals. I know Buffalo already has one, but Minnesota gets on the board again. It seems like Minnesota is the team who wants it more today in the Who Wants to Win Today game. 14-0 Minnesota over the Washington Commanders. End of the first quarter. End of the first quarter also in Cleveland. 14-3 Browns losing to the Titans right now. Looking at some of the scores from around the NFL today, looking at some statistics here while we're talking with you today. Christian XC1 review covering Las Vegas and the world. Thank you all for being here as always. If I don't say it enough, thank you. Miami's up 21-0. Again, I always like to say this about the Bengals and the Dolphins. Where was this, 7 weeks ago? Where was this 7 weeks ago when you actually had a chance to still make the playoffs? And now you're going to finish strong and you're going to have a higher draft pick, but it's going to be all for naught. Buffalo's going for it again on 4th and 4. And they get it. Touchdown Buffalo. What a play. That's the play of the day right there. There's been some great catches early on, but that touchdown pass was a throw it up and hope for a receiver to catch the ball moment. 14-9, Cincinnati over Buffalo. Pretty great touchdown right there by the Buffalo Bills. Jets are trying to return the punt here for a touchdown. And they're going to, it looks like, inside the 10. Nope, a touchdown. Wow, special teams touchdown return for the New York Jets. Speaking of that, down 21-0. The Jets get a special teams for touchdown from Isaiah Williams. 21-6 now. Miami, do not sleep on this. This would be one of the great choke losses if Miami were to lose today, starting up 21-0. There have been some historically bad games for the Dolphins at the Jets in the history of this rivalry. But New York Jets get a punt return for a touchdown, 21-6. Miami pending extra point coming here. Browns still can't get the rushing touchdown there on the 14-3. Got a Daniel Jones injury on the field. The New Orleans Saints are attempting a 48-yard field goal attempt against the Buccaneers. That kick is no good. Still 7-7 Saints and Buccaneers early on in the second quarter. Again, Buccaneers must win to maintain their lead in the AFC South. Carolina Panthers are on a bye this week after their heroic victory last week against the Los Angeles Rams. Good times are had by all by the Carolina Panthers. Is it Anthony Richardson who's the backup for the Colts, Tom? Is that who we're going to be seeing in here right now, I'm guessing? Am I right about that? Browns get a passing touchdown. And a hurt player at the same time. David Njoku with the touchdown, but he is down on the field. Great catch, though. He got it over the top there. Who's the Jacoby? Who is the Colts backup, Tom? Please enlighten me. Doesn't sound very good. Doesn't sound very Bills are going for a 2-point conversion attempt here after the touchdown. They're going to get that sauce. 14-11. Bengals over the Bills. Good comeback response by the Bills. The question is going to be, can the Bills play defense today? Can the Bills play defense? That's really what it comes down to. Second quarter early on. Pittsburgh beating Baltimore 7-3 at Baltimore. 14 minutes left. That's a lot of slow-moving games today. It seems like it's going to be a very long afternoon here at the NFL early week schedules. Later today, of course, Raiders get to play at home against the Broncos, looking to get their third win of the year here at Allegiant Stadium. Saw a lot of Denver Broncos fans last night on the Las Vegas Strip in town for the game. Not surprising, as we like to draw in all of the other teams. Also, we've got Chicago, Green Bay today. That could be good. I'm looking forward to seeing, can the Chicago Bears keep the magic going? My response is they absolutely will not. I see Green Bay winning today at home. And then finally, also today in the later portion, the Rams need to get to 10 wins on the year. They play the Cardinals on the road. I always like to talk about this, but division road games are tough. I don't care if the Cardinals are 3-9. Seahawks are having a tough game against the Falcons today. 49ers are on a bye. Rams have got to go at the Cardinals. That is not a sure thing for the Rams. I don't care what anyone says. That is not a sure thing. So, Rams, you better take note. You better take note, Los Angeles Rams. Yeah, I don't think he's going to shock anyone today, Tom. My prediction for that game, Green Bay 28, Chicago 14. Sorry. I mean, Green Bay coming off that win in Detroit on Thanksgiving. The offense looks good. The defense looks good. Green Bay's had a couple extra days to rest, obviously. Green Bay's at home. Division road games are tough. We'll talk about that. Of the 5 rules of the CY interview, NFL Live reaction, weekly segments, there's one of the 5 rules is that, we'll figure out the other 4 as we go along, but one of the 5 rules is that division road games are absolutely tough because they play twice a year. They play twice a year. I'm sorry, but I just can't see the Bears being able to do that. Yeah, they beat Philly, but again, I think if you match up a better offense with 2 good defenses, I'm taking the better offense with the 2 defenses. That's what it is. So I'm taking Green Bay today. I think Green Bay, Philadelphia again, they're up, they're down, they're up, they're down. They should be grateful that the Lions beat the Cowboys on Thursday. I still expect, obviously, the Eagles to win that division, but now they've got more breathing room than they did a week ago, right? So it's just like they got to play the Chargers tomorrow, which is no guarantee. That's going to be a great Monday Night Football game, by the way. But division road games are tough. One of the rules of the CY interview, NFL Live reaction, division road games are tough. I will never take the division. I will never say that the road team can absolutely win. Could see the Rams losing today. You never know. So it's just 3rd and 7 for the Bengals against the Bills here. And the Bills still cannot stop the Bengals. They're still moving the ball. Midfield about 14-11, 5 minutes to the half. Bills have got to find something. 3-3, by the way, Seahawks and Falcons. Falcons are in scoring range against the Seahawks. $14-0. I think the Vikings and the Washington Commanders, who wants to win game, I think that's going to be the first one done. 14-0 Vikings as we're getting close to halftime there. Turnover by the Colts. Maybe time to put a fork in the Indianapolis Colts season. 14-7 Jaguars. Jaguars are gonna look to extend their lead here after a fumble by Jonathan Taylor, the Colts running back. That one will probably get reviewed, but I don't think he was on the ground when the ball was fumbled there. So probably looks like, yep, Jacksonville's got the ball at the 30 of Indianapolis. Jacksonville's going to score a touchdown. Jacksonville is looking to pour it on today against the Indianapolis Colts, and what we thought maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago this team could be first in the AFC conference, that is long gone. Colts probably looking at not making the playoffs at this point. 21-7, potentially pending extra point. 20-7 Jacksonville right now. Pending extra point coming, not very good. Let's just put it like that. Not very good at all, one bit. Not very good, one bit. Kick is up and good. 21-7 Jacksonville over Indianapolis. I love how they show the Bengals on the AFC playoff picture screen, Tom, like they actually think they have a chance being 4 games out with 5 to play. I mean, that's just outrageous. I mean, anyone who can do math knows there's just no way that would happen. You know how many things would have to happen and how many teams would have to lose? But the fact that they even put Cincinnati in the playoff hunt, at 4-8 is just kind of an embarrassment. I don't care how good Cincinnati is now with Joe Burrow, and they like that, but that's just the most ridiculous thing on the face of the earth. It really is. Miami's a stretch, even. You know what I'm saying? So it's just kind of like, I'm sorry. I'm absolutely sorry on that. The math ain't mathin'. Out 4 with 5 to play, with 5 weeks to go, I'm sorry, but that's just, the math is not mathin' there on that one. It's just not mathin'. Christian C1 review covering Las Vegas and the world. Thank you so much for everyone joining us today. NFL Live, Week 14 reaction. As we go along in these things, the audience grows every week. We appreciate you watching in live or real time, or in the recording, excuse me. It's so great that you're here with us today. We're having fun. A lot of close games, a lot of interesting games today, by the way. New Orleans, even with 2 wins, is playing Tampa Bay tough today, 7-7. I don't know what's happened to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers over the last 3 or 4 weeks, Tom, but they just seem slow. They do not seem like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers of the first, 4 or 5 weeks or 6 weeks of the NFL season. I'm not sure what's going on with Tampa Bay. They're just kind of playing through the motions. I really don't get what's going on with them. They're about to set up for a field goal attempt against the Saints, 7-7 there. Tampa Bay and New Orleans. They just don't look good, though. I mean, they do not look good. Field goal attempt is good. 10-7, Tampa Bay over New Orleans. Let's look up a couple of pieces of information here. By the way, on a side note, Eagles are very lucky because they get the Raiders next week at home if they don't win tomorrow on Monday Night Football. 21-7 Miami over the Jets. Miami, you better win the first of, you got to win 5 to hope for a chance for everything. The Hail Mary 5 victories in a row, winning 21-7 of the Jets. Got to win number 1 and then win 4 more. 3-3 Seattle and Atlanta. I mentioned at the top of today's broadcast, today's stream here on YouTube, that the Seahawks would struggle against the Falcons, and this would be a tough game, and it's 3-3 in the second quarter. Sad to see that the Bills, the defense just seems so banged up today. Who got the ball first, Tom? Tampa Bay? I mean, Cincinnati or Buffalo? Who got the ball first? Any idea? I'm guessing you know. I think Cincinnati did, didn't they? Yeah, so if Buffalo can score before the half and they can hold Cincinnati to not score before the half, then what they can end up doing is flipping the field and flipping. They need 2 possessions in a row based on how the defense is playing here. They need 2 possessions in a row. Good pass by the Indianapolis Colts rookie there. That's about 30-yard pass there. 21-7 Jacksonville over the Indianapolis Colts. The Colts starting quarterback Daniel Jones is out of the game. Again, Colts looked so good a couple weeks ago. Not looking good right now. 8-4 on the year. Probably not going to make the playoffs if the streaks continue to happen like this. That's basically what we're looking at right now. 21-7 Jacksonville over Indianapolis here in the second quarter. Indianapolis has got to get some points on the board. Well, put it this way, Tom. Get a touchdown with 10 seconds before the half. That's my point. Can they hold them for 10 seconds? I think they're that capable in this kind of weather, in this kind of game. I think they can hold them for 10 seconds. No? You get a touchdown right before the half to answer back this time for the second time in a row. And then you're like 10 seconds. Okay, I can make it. I can make it to the half for 10 seconds. And then you flip the field and you got to score on that opening drive in the third quarter. That's basically what I feel like the Bills have to do today. Yeah, I mean, but he's had similar games like this. Again, 2-minute offense coming up for the Bills. And the one thing the Bills have going for them is that the Bengals do not have a great defense either. So they can answer back, and they need to right now. If they answer back again with a couple seconds before the half, then you get the ball first in the second half, and then you can flip the game. That's the whole point. Man, that extra point's got to be tough out there. He got it, though, I think. 21-11, Bengals over the Bills. All right, Bills offense has got to get something going here in the 2-minute warning before the 2 minutes of the half. Ten-3 Steelers over the Ravens. I don't know what's going on with the Ravens today. Ravens look so good the last 5 of the 6 weeks. They are not playing well right now. I am surprised by the Steelers' effort today. I will say that, because as we talk about rule number 1 here, division road games are tough. I am very surprised by how badly the Ravens are playing today. I'm not sure what is going on with the Ravens today. Maybe it was that just string of playing the Jets and the Dolphins, but I think the Ravens are much better than how they're playing so far right now. So that just doesn't make any sense to me. 10-3 Steelers so far. I will give Steelers the credit where the credit is due. It's like some of the bowls have already been announced, actually, which is kind of interesting. California is going to play Hawaii in the Sheraton Hawaii Bowl. Christmas Eve, of course, in Hawaii. Congrats to the Rainbows. I think they won 7 games this year, or 8 games. Congrats to the Rainbows. The Rainbow Warriors of Hawaii had a great year this year. Missouri State will take on Arkansas State in the Xbox Bowl. Louisiana will play the Delaware Blue Hens, their first bowl game, and I think their first year, the Delaware Blue Hens will be playing Louisiana in the 68 Ventures Bowl in Mobile, Alabama. South Florida will be playing Old Dominion in the Cure Bowl. That should actually be a quite good game as well. Well, you never know. I know Cal has not had the greatest year, but you never know. You never know with these bowl games. But yeah, when you play Hawaii at home, Hawaii tends to win. Hawaii loves playing in their own bowl game. We know this already. They don't like traveling for the bowl game. It'll be interesting to see where UNLV ends up. Still couldn't get over the Boise State three-headed monster, unfortunately, as we like to talk about. It's unfortunate, but did not happen. So Las Vegas college football team, it'll be interesting to see where they end up going. I agree with you on that. Bills got a chance here. Again, you get the score before, with a couple seconds before the end of the half, and then you flip the field. That's the whole point. You just flip the field. Welcome. Tom, can you just have like a little positivity? Like, again, if the Bills scored with 10 seconds left in the half, 10 seconds, I have faith the Bills defense can hold the Bengals for 10 seconds. Like, give them a little credit. I mean, if they can't hold a team for 10 seconds, there's no hope for the rest of the season. Come on. I mean, like, they'll do it if they get the touchdown. Have a little faith in that defense. Pittsburgh Steelers are kicking a field goal here against the Ravens. Kick is up and good. 13-3 Pittsburgh over Baltimore. NFL Live, Week 14, Chris Shannick here, CY Review Las Vegas. We're having a great time as always. Yeah, that's why they'll stop. So Atlanta's playing well today. They're at the Seattle 30 again. The Seattle Seahawks, who are one of the top, I think, 4 teams in the NFC, are 9-3 on the year. They're at Atlanta. Atlanta's got 4 victories. The Atlanta Falcons just lost to the hopeless New York Jets last week. And they're playing Seattle. It's 3-3, and Atlanta's got a chance to get a field goal attempt here, potentially. It's a penalty flag on the Ravens, excuse me. So there's a penalty flag on the Ravens that's going to make it 1st and goal for the Steelers. So you can take that field goal off the board. It's still 10-3. I'm not sure what the flag was, but that is not a great moment for the Baltimore Ravens, who, again, from 1-5 to 6-6 on the year, looking pretty good over the last how many weeks. They're not doing well today against the Steelers so far. Very disappointing, honestly, to tell you the truth. The Steelers get a touchdown. Again, very surprising effort by the Steelers today. I pretty much thought they were done, but they're playing well today. Touchdown by the Steelers over the Ravens, 16-3 now. Baltimore better get a touchdown before the half. I don't know what's going on with Baltimore. It's like they had all this confidence. They were looking good, and it's not looking good right now. It is not looking good right now if you're the Baltimore Ravens. The Indianapolis Colts get a field goal attempt, 21-10. I think it's raining in Jacksonville, 21-10. Indianapolis over Jacksonville. Christian XC1 review NFL Live. We're getting closer to halftime here when we're going to talk about the college football playoff. Touchdown Atlanta. Down there in Atlanta, the Falcons 4-8, no hope to make the playoffs. Darnell Mooney with the touchdown. 9-3 Atlanta over Seattle. Speaking about Kirk Cousins, Minnesota's been between quarterbacks the last couple of years. I don't know. But the Atlanta wide receiver stepped out of bounds there. There's no penalty flag for that? Or is that just college? I guess that's just college, no? No, he stepped out of bounds, so that touchdown won't count. Field goal attempt coming for Atlanta, still 3-3 there. Excuse me, take the touchdown off the board. Jacksonville is leading Indy 21-10. Thank you very much. Sorry about that. Thank you. Yep, because he stepped out of bounds. Field goal attempt by the Falcons is good. 6-3 Falcons over the Seahawks. Bills are going for it at midfield, and I don't blame them. They didn't get it. Sorry that the Bills are struggling today, Tom. 21-11 Bengals, a minute left now. Can the Bills defense please find a way to hold them? And it looks like the Buccaneers went for it, and the 2-10 Saints defense stopped the Buccaneers at midfield. You know, I got to give credit to these teams at the bottom. The bottom five of the NFL are playing tough today. New Orleans, the Jets, a little bit better. The Tennessee Titans for sure, but the Saints and the Titans are playing great football today. Like, they want to win a football game. You know, they don't have to. At this point, they could just phone it in the rest of the year with 5 weeks to go. But Saints and the Titans are playing very well today. I have to give them credit on that. I'm going to check something while we're sitting here. We're always sitting here, ladies and gentlemen. Going to head over to Twitter to see X to see some stuff in the process. Miami's in the red zone against the Jets, looking to add to their lead. Michigan and Texas are going to end up playing in the Citrus Bowl. That'll actually be a good bowl game, potentially. Texas and Michigan in the Citrus Bowl, ladies and gentlemen. LSU and Houston are going to play in the Texas Bowl. Excuse me, I meant the. Oh, never mind. Nope. Hey Tom, the Buffalo Bills defense stopped the Cincinnati Bengals offense. News breaking news. Breaking news, the Buffalo Bills defense stopped the Cincinnati Bengals offense, ladies and gentlemen. 21-11 still Bengals over the Bills. Miami Dolphins are inside the 5-yard line, but there is a penalty flag against the Jets here. 21-7 Miami against the Jets right now. 14-10 Tennessee over the Browns. Will be interesting to see what the Bills do here with like a minute left. Will they take a chance? Will they be conservative? Take it to the half? I think they're probably going to try to throw downfield, don't you? Going to be offsetting penalties in Miami and the Jets, so that's going to come back. Miami's going to be settling for a field goal, it looks like. What else have we learned today? So, an update from the entertainment capital of the world. Got a good one this year. The Utah Utes will be playing the Nebraska Cornhuskers in this year's Las Vegas Bowl. Again, I repeat, the Utah Utes will be playing the Nebraska Cornhuskers in this year's Las Vegas Bowl game. Should be a good crowd. I know Nebraska's got diehard football fans. Utah does too. Utah gets to come from next door. They can just drive in the day of or fly in the day of. So we're going to get Nebraska versus Utah in the Las Vegas Bowl this year. That should be quite a good game. Seattle is lining up to kick a field goal before the half to tie the Falcons. That's going to be good. 6-6 Seattle and Atlanta. Halftime. Halftime, ladies and gentlemen. Seattle 6, Atlanta 6. Seattle cannot afford a loss today to the Atlanta Falcons. They cannot afford that loss. Still 2 minutes and 58 seconds until the half of Cleveland and Tennessee. And I think Sanders Jr. just threw his best pass of his NFL career right there. A stripe over the middle to Jerry Jeudy. Jerry Jeudy may be the best wide receiver on that Browns offense. So 16-14 Browns over the Titans. Again, when you're playing one of the worst defenses in the NFL, there are opportunities to make big plays, and Sanders Jr. absolutely made a great play there. So tops to him on that one. Kick is up and good. 17-14. Browns over the Titans. (24-7) Dolphins over the Jets here. 1 minute and 56 seconds left to go before the half. Miami looking good today. But as I always say, where was that, in week 5, week 6, week 7, week 8? Where was that the first 10 games of the year? Miami has left a lot on the board. Even if Miami gets to 6-7 on the year and keeps their slim playoff hopes alive, disappointing effort today by disappointing season so far by Miami. It's good that they haven't given up on themselves, but yeah. Jaguars look really good right now. I think if the Jaguars win today, we're going to have to put the Jaguars up. So I'm going to check on something here. Just give me a minute. Taking a look at something here, just a moment. No, that's not right. Yep. I think that here's my question right now, all things being equal. Ready? Are we gonna upgrade Jacksonville with a victory today? Do they end up in the top 3 in the AFC with a victory today? I think so. I think if Jacksonville wins today, they're in the top 3 of the AFC. I think Jacksonville would beat New England, by the way, too, potentially, if they play their best football also. I don't think Jacksonville would beat Buffalo, though. That's just my opinion. Again, I don't understand why Tampa Bay is struggling so much the last couple of weeks against Arizona and New Orleans, teams with 2 and 3 victories. The Buccaneers just don't look very good right now. They may win the NFC South. I'd rather see Carolina win, honestly. They got Carolina twice. But I got to tell you, Tampa Bay just, I don't know, they don't look their powerful selves that they did in the beginning of the year. That's all I have to say about that. Still 17-3, Pittsburgh over Baltimore. This is why we call it any given Sunday, right? Jacksonville looking to put some points on the board against Indianapolis before the half, 21-10. Jacksonville against Indianapolis. I'm not sure if it's possible because I haven't seen all the announcements yet, but a great bowl game, not from the college football playoff, Notre Dame and Vanderbilt. That would be a good college football bowl game if you wanted to have a good bowl game. Yeah, well, we'll see what happens. Again, I haven't looked at all the stretches and all that kind of stuff. You know what's interesting though? Let's take a look at something quickly here. So next week, Miami gets Pittsburgh, which won't be an easy game, obviously. But the way that Miami's playing, I mean, if Miami keeps playing like this, they could considerably win 9 or even maybe 10 games. But they got to keep playing like this. Is really what it comes down to. 3rd and 15 for the Bucs against the Saints here before the half. Baltimore Ravens are trying to get a touchdown before the half here. They really need it, obviously. Saints are playing good defense today. I'll give them that. Going to be probably 10-7 Bucs going to the half. Down Baltimore, touchdown Baltimore. Do you know what Baker Mayfield gets a gold star for, Tom? He actually threw the ball up in the air about 53 yards and it got to the end zone. Unlike a lot of these other NFL quarterbacks who are struggling with this stuff, I give him all the credit in the world. Incomplete pass to end the half. It is halftime in Tampa Bay. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers lead the New Orleans Saints 10-7. But I'll give Baker Mayfield credit, the vet that he is, that he's able to haul off and get that ball to the end zone. I'll give him that one. Baltimore misses the extra point, so it's going to be 17-9, Pittsburgh over Baltimore. You can see that that Coach Harbaugh was not happy about that miss. He was not happy about that miss one bit. I mean, God, that wasn't very good. Oh my God, the who wants to win game, the Minnesota Vikings and the Washington Commanders. Tipped Jaden Daniels is down on the field again. He gets up himself, but again, I don't know what you think about this at this point. I get it's the NFL and you want to honor your contracts and all that stuff, but I mean, is it really worth it to have Jaden Daniels out in these games right now where these games are absolutely meaningless? Maybe he should spend the rest of the year just getting recovered and recuperated for the rest of next year. Because, I mean, that was a bad fall to the ground there. I get that, you want to see the big stars, so they feel obligated to play, and I get that, but not looking great. He really should not be playing, honestly. It's just a different league. It's not the same league that it once was. Again, there's nothing to play for. This Jacksonville Indy game looks like it's going to be going on till like 10 o'clock at this point. 21-10 Jacksonville over Indy. Jacksonville's in scoring range within the red zone here. But again, I just don't see the point. I put him on the bench right now. Minnesota's going to win today. I know that coaches are playing for jobs and they want to win and all that good stuff, but yeah. We're in the third quarter. Buffalo has that football as we promised. They need to get a touchdown here, and the Buffalo Bills defense needs to find something, excuse me. Yeah, well, in reality, what it comes down to is I'll be here till the end. You know that. So I'll sit here to the end with you. I don't care. As long as it takes, I'll sit here till the end with you. You know that. Third and goal coming up in the Colts and Jags. Colts really need to have a hold here. Seahawks are going to get the ball first in the second half. I guess we'll do our halftime report once the Colts and Jags. Oh. Seattle with an opening second half kickoff return for a touchdown. If you have the Seattle Seahawks defense, which of course matches in with the special teams, you're happy right now. Kickoff return for a touchdown. Seattle 12-6 over Atlanta. Maybe that's the little burst of juice that the Seattle Seahawks needed to get going today. They cannot afford to lose to these 4-8 Atlanta Falcons if they want to keep pace in that very competitive NFC where every week it's just who's the best team in the NFC. Well, one week it's this team, one week it's that team, one week it's this team. So, see if they get the extra point here in Atlanta. The kick is up. That's going to be good. 13-6, Seattle over Atlanta. The point is good. 13-6. Seattle over Atlanta. 28-10 Jacksonville over Indianapolis. Not looking good. If I'm Jacksonville, I just start running the football because that Colts offense is not capable of stopping me in the second half. I just start running the football. That's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it. I think it's fair to say that Jaden Daniels is probably done for the day. Okay, 3rd and 5 for Buffalo here at their own 40-yard line. They need this. Buffalo moving against the very not good Cincinnati Bengals defense into Bengals territory. Better find a way to get a touchdown here, and then you better find some defense. All right, let's go over it. C1 review halftime report. I know some games are in the third quarter, but let's go to it. Halftime report now. Let's talk about the college football playoff very quickly because we want to. And we'll keep an eye on the Bills and the Bengals because that's the good one right now. The argument's going to be, should Miami have gotten over Notre Dame? And the answer is that Miami did beat Notre Dame during the regular season. Miami did lose 2 bad games, but Miami's getting in because of a bunch of teams losing. And that's why Miami's getting into this college football playoff. It's not that they deserve to be in the playoff per se. It's just all the get in. And that's really what we're looking at here, right? The lone ACC representative. They didn't even win the conference championship. And that game against TAMU, I mean, good luck. I don't see how Miami's going to beat TAMU. I don't see it. I think James Madison could give Oregon a game. I absolutely believe that. A lot of people may not, but I think that James Madison could give Oregon a game potentially. Alabama, Oklahoma, anybody's guess. That one is going to be the best of the first 4. Tulane, Ole Miss, as I like to call it, the John Summerall Bowl. Summerall Bowl. New Florida Gators head football coach. Ole Miss wanted him if Lane Kiffin left. Florida grabbed him beforehand. That could be a decent game. Maybe Ole Miss, again, it's a different situation compared to the regular season. So maybe Tulane will give Ole Miss a game. Who knows what the focus will be. And then TAMU beating Miami probably, and we're getting TAMU and Ohio State in the second round. That would be quite good. So we'll see on that. And I think Alabama, Oklahoma versus Indiana. If Indiana has to play Alabama, I'd be worried. Oklahoma, I'd be less worried for Indiana. But if Alabama gets Indiana in the first round, it'll be pretty incredible stuff. Second round, that'd be pretty incredible stuff. And I think Alabama probably would find a way to win that game. I mean, again, either way, Indiana's going to have to play an SEC team in the second round. So that's going to be a tough one for them. So we're really going to see. I know they won last night against Ohio State, but again, that game was kind of meaningless, irrespective. I thought that Ohio State would find a way to win, but it doesn't really matter either way. Touchdown Buffalo. Can the Bills now play defense? 21-17, Cincinnati over Buffalo. Can the Bills find some defense, Tom? Can they find some defense? Yeah, I mean, again, let me take a look at something for my reference purposes. So I give you a clear and precise thought on the matter. So Alabama lost to Oklahoma at home. Here's the thing about Oklahoma. And this is why I think Indiana would want to play Oklahoma more than Alabama in the second round. Oklahoma's got a great defense. They don't have an offense. To me, Oklahoma does not have an offense. They have a great defense. They don't have an offense. So, Alabama, more capable on offense than Oklahoma. Indiana would love to play Oklahoma because they would have trouble scoring points. That's why I agree with you. But it's hard to beat a team twice in a season also, right? So it's hard to beat a team twice in a season. So that's why I think that, Alabama can find a way. But Oklahoma's defense is superior, but their offense is not very good. Not very good one bit. That's my thought, and I'm sticking to that. Third quarter, 17-0 Minnesota in Washington in the Who Wants to Win game today. Both of these teams can't wait for the NFL season to be over. You can just tell. Christian C1 review covering Las Vegas and the world. Thank you all for watching us. Whether you're here in the live or you're here in the replay, thank you so much. It's 11:45 a.m. in Las Vegas, 2:45 on the East Coast. We're here today, the NFL Live Reaction, Week 14. A lot of playoff implications in the early games. Bills, Bengals, Steelers, Ravens, Seahawks, Falcons. All the playoff implications going on right now. Some of the other games today, Dolphins, Jets, not much, but can the Dolphins get to 6-7 on the season? Looking good so far. And hello to everyone who's watching around the world, of course, absolutely. Here with my main man, Tom. Hopefully his Buffalo Bills can find a way to play some defense now. Can the Bills please find a way to play some defense? Mariota should be on the field at this point. It's a meaningless game, and they're losing by 3 scores, as we talked about, for the Commanders. It's a meaningless game. There's no reason for Jaden Daniels to be on the field. There's no motivation. And Marcus Mariota throws an interception. If I'm the Vikings, I just run the football. The Commanders are not scoring points today. If I'm the Vikings, I just start running the football. Every chance I get, I just start running the football. Get out of this game with a victory, get on to next week. 13-6 Seattle over Atlanta right now. After that kickoff return for a touchdown to start the third quarter, special teams touchdown has put the Seahawks up again. NFC playoff picture, Seattle cannot afford to lose today. Rams play the Cardinals later. So we've spoken about, and we will continue to speak about in this regard. Seahawks, got to find a way to win today. Minnesota could run the ball every play for the rest of the game, punt the football to the Commanders, and they still win. That's how bad the Washington Commanders offense looks today. They're not getting 3 scores. I'm sorry. Third and 8 coming up for the for the Bills defense. Big one here for the Bengals. Big one here for the Bills. Big play here. This is not game deciding, but see what the Bills defense can do here. Guess what, Tom? The Buffalo Bills have played defense again, and they will get the ball back against the Cincinnati Bengals. 21-18, Bengals beating the Bills, but the Bills have finally found some defense on these last two drives to start the end this first half and the third quarter. The Bills will get the ball back. They have a chance now to at least tie the game, if not take the lead. So now if you're the Bills defense, I don't do any screwy Louis on the punt here. Bills are going to have the ball in some good field position here, potentially. There's a flag on the play. Delay of game, maybe? No, it was false start. False start on the Bengals. That is going to back them up 5 more yards on the punt. Seahawks moving the ball now against the Falcons. It looks like that touchdown to open the second half. They're opening it up a little bit here right now. I was just thinking the same exact thing, by the way. I honestly was thinking the same thing about how you don't see false starts on a punt very often. By the way, Baker Mayfield just got intercepted. Saints defense getting my honorable mention of the award of the day today. Playing great. 2 wins on the season. Saints just intercepted Baker Mayfield. If the Buccaneers lose today, they are mathematically tied with the Panthers with 4 to go. They play twice in the last 4, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So Panthers have a chance here. So take a look at that schedule again. Touchdown Seattle. And now the Seattle Seahawks have decided that they want to play football today. Jackson Smith with the touchdown for the Seahawks wide receiver. The Seahawks have decided that there's a football game going on and they need to win this game to get to 10 wins on the years. Panthers and Bucks play next week. Going to be a good one. Are we at the point yet where they can flex schedule to schedule, or is that only like the last 3 weeks of the season? Because if we were flex scheduling, I'd put that game on Sunday Night Football next week. Take a look at something here. Oh, you're wrong. Okay. Yeah, that's right. The Falcons. Got to be week 16. Week 16. See, I'd flex that game to Sunday Night Football. By the way, it's at Carolina. And then they play the last. I always talk with you about this stuff. Touchdown Minnesota, 23-0. Minnesota, it's time to put in your backups, literally. And just run the football. This is just a mess game today. Congrats to Minnesota on winning their 5th game of the year. Meaningless game. Everyone wants to win every week in the NFL, but meaningless game. Touchdown Minnesota, 23-0 over Washington. Tough year for the Washington Commanders. Lots of injuries, all that good stuff. Not good stuff. Tough year. 14-9 Pittsburgh, Baltimore. That has just started the third quarter. Long, 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 long games today. Moving along slowly. But what I don't like, as I told you, is that I don't like division teams either playing both of their games so quickly earlier in the year or waiting till the last 2 weeks of the 3 weeks of the year. It's like the Bucks are going to play twice in the last 3 weeks, which, by the way, will be exciting television. It'll be exciting football, but because of how this is set up. But in general, it's just they should play like week 7 and week 16 or week 9 and week 18, not week 16 and then week 18. I don't like that back-to-back assessment situation, you know. So Bills are moving the ball again, 40-yard line, first down. Seems like the snow has stopped a little bit in Buffalo. It seems like it's not coming down as hard as it was earlier. 21-18 right now. Bengals over the Bills. He better throw rockets against that Bengals defense because Caleb Williams did, Tom. I mean, if Allen can't throw rockets against the Cincinnati Bengals defense, there's no hope. That Bears team put up, I don't think there were a couple special teams or defensive touchdowns, memory serves me right, but they put up 47 against the Bengals. Scores from around the league: Jacksonville 28 in control, beating Indianapolis 28-10. Jacksonville putting themselves in a good position to be in the top 2 or 3 in the AFC after a win today. Touchdown New Orleans, and they take the lead against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 13-10. It feels like it's not going to be easy for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to win this game against the 2-win Saints. The Saints were to win today, they would end up being the team to beat both the Panthers and the Bucks on the road this year. Kick is up and good. 14-10, Saints over Tampa Bay in the upset of the day so far. We're going to take a 2-minute break and we'll be right back. Touchdown Indianapolis. Ooh, someone got hurt there. Michael Pittman Jr. with the touchdown. But there's a penalty flag. Pass interference, offensive pass interference for the Colts. Shannick C1 review, covering Las Vegas and the world. These NFL games today are going at their own slow motion pace. That is what I sum them up as. And we're going to be here until the 4 o'clock kickoffs kick off, maybe into the first quarter the way they're going. 10 minutes and 37 seconds still left in the third. Jacksonville trying to take control of the AFC South. They're beating the Colts 28-10. Colts are driving near the red zone. They're going to probably settle for a field goal attempt, I imagine now. Seattle Seahawks have taken control of the game against Atlanta. Seattle looking to get to 10 victories on the year, 20-6. Kirk Cousins with an interception for the Falcons. Not looking good if you're a Falcons fan today. Hasn't been great all year anyway. But Seattle started slow today, 6-6 at the half, but they've scored 2 touchdowns in the third quarter. Indianapolis kicking a field goal down in Jacksonville. Kick's good. 28-13. Jacksonville over Indy. Indy has got to play perfect defense the rest of the way if they've got any chance in this game, but not giving up with the rookie Riley Leonard on the field for the Colts. Daniel Jones got hurt earlier today. In the anybody who wants to win game, Washington losing 24-0 right now. I don't think he fumbled. See, here's the thing about the fumble. I don't know if the ball went over the plank at that point. To me, the ball should be at the 1-yard line, no? The way I see it, I don't even think I think the ball goes out inside the 1-yard line before it hits the pylon. So shouldn't it be first and goal Buffalo at the 1-yard line? I mean, to me, I don't even think it went in the end zone. That's a touchback? Baltimore's inside the 5-yard line. They're down 20-9 to the Steelers. So what's the call on the field? Why was the ball brought back? You need to explain to me, like, what's going on there. Why was the ball brought back? Ah. Okay, makes sense. I just wasn't sure, like, what was going on there. Tampa Bay has realized that they're losing to a 2-win team, 14-10. They're inside the Saints' red zone here. We'll see if New Orleans can find a way to hold here, at least to a field goal attempt. Baltimore needs to get a touchdown, second and goal right now. Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry, and the company are out there trying to make this a one-score game. Baltimore needs to win today to get first place in the AFC North. I predicted weeks ago that the Ravens would win the AFC North. I think the Steelers are on a downslope, but the Steelers are showing something today. They're beating the Ravens 20-9 so far. 3rd and goal for the Ravens here. There's your touchdown, Baltimore Ravens. 1-score game again in Baltimore. 20-15 now. Let's see if Baltimore ends up going for 2 here. It's too early to go for 2. It's the 3rd quarter. I don't think so. Let's see what ends up happening. Nope, they're going to kick 1. But Baltimore's within 1 score now of Pittsburgh. Bills are within field goal range at least. Close to it anyway. Well, I guess you're in field goal range in the snow at the 15-yard line. What do I know? Buffalo trying to get the lead in this game. Then the question becomes, can Buffalo play defense? Those are basically the scenarios. Can Buffalo play defense? Buffalo inside the 5 now. Touchdown coming for the Buffalo Bills. Game is moving along faster than any of the other ones, really. 1:26 left in the 3rd quarter. Tough game for the Commanders today. Nothing's going right. 24-0 Vikings over the Commanders going in the 4th quarter. All right, there's your Oh, no. The Bills fumble at the 1-yard line. That really happened. I'm sorry you jinxed yourself there. Gosh. Oh, Buffalo Bills, can you play defense again? The Bengals escape 21-18 Bengals now still. That's a tough one. 24-7 Miami over the Jets in the 3rd. Sometimes I have to tell you, if that wasn't the cynical Buffalo Bills comment of the year right there, we have to punch this in first. Nothing is, right? I'm sorry. It's like you could tell when you're a fan of a football team when you say stuff like that, 23-6, Seattle over Atlanta in the 3rd quarter. Seattle now taking control. Seattle's going to get to 10 wins on the year, I think. Seattle playing well enough today now against Atlanta. Put a fork in Atlanta. Put a fork in Washington, too, today. And just a disclaimer, all these are non-alcoholic beverages, ladies and gentlemen. But I got to tell you, so close yet so far for the Buffalo Bills, right? Got to give the Cleveland Browns defense some credit today, though. They were down 14-3, and now it's the 3rd quarter, and they haven't given up any more points since then. It's 17-14 right now, Cleveland and Tennessee. Got to give the Cleveland Browns credit. I know that the Titans have 1 victory the entire year, but the Browns defense is playing decent today. So playing defense, and, Cam Ward's just out there and getting pummeled. But, both these teams are playing pretty hard today for being a 1-win team and a 3-win team. So I give them both kudos. I'll say that. I will give them both kudos. Third quarter action, still 7 minutes left, 20-16. The Ravens did convert that extra point. So the Ravens are down by 4 to the Steelers. Again, the winner of this game will be first in the AFC North. Mm-hmm. Big third down coming up in the Steelers and Ravens game. Going to be an injury timeout here. Put some scores in the box for everybody. Take a look at something else. So the Buccaneers did get that touchdown, so they're up now on the Saints 17-14. Dolphins holding command 24-7 against the Jets. Third quarter, still 8 minutes left there. You need to just hold them to a field goal at least. The worst case scenario. But that game is headed to the fourth quarter soon enough. Bengals, Bills. Who wants it more, ladies and gentlemen? Christian C1 Review covering Las Vegas and the world. We're live today from the entertainment capital of the world. 17-14 right now in the third quarter. Tampa Bay and New Orleans. New Orleans, a 2-win team, playing very well today. You know, they're the random variable today in the NFL action. So far, Saints playing well. Could be the upset of the day. Steelers beating the Ravens 20-16. And, you know, just the reality, what it comes down to is that, interesting enough, you know, speaking about we're here in the entertainment capital of the world, people wonder, you know, the rest of the bunch of, you know, we're seeing snow today, and we're seeing snow today in Buffalo, for example, and it's warm today, if you can believe it, in Vegas. I was outside yesterday, and it's like sunny today. It's warm outside today. The weather has been really nice here in Las Vegas this December. It wasn't even cold last night either when I was outside on the strip last night and we saw those Denver Broncos fans that are in town, obviously, for the Raiders and all that stuff. So weather's been really good in December so far. We're in the first week of December, but this time of year it's usually much colder, but it's been very warm these last couple of days here in Las Vegas. Speaking of all of that, watching the snow in Buffalo and Cleveland today. It's grateful that you're here in the entertainment capital of the world. And of course, the Broncos fans are here in town for the Raiders game, which takes place later today. Obviously, always a great rivalry in the AFC West, and should be a close game today, I expect, between the Raiders and the Broncos. Atlanta Falcons have attempted a field goal. It's 23-9. Seattle over Atlanta going to the fourth quarter. Seattle now well in control. 10 victories are coming for the Seahawks, it looks like. Listen, again, I don't know what's going on with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but if they lose to the 2-win Saints today, that's not going to be very good. It's not going to be very good at all. It's just not very good one bit. But the Carolina Panthers, they'll be glad because there's 4 games left, 7-6 for both of them. And Panthers, again, love to see the Panthers be in the playoffs. Saints are going to try for a game-tying field goal here. That is good. 17-7, Tampa Bay and New Orleans going to the fourth quarter. 7-6, 7-5, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 2-10, New Orleans Saints tied going to the fourth. Minnesota with another who wants to win today, who wants it more today, in the who wants it more today football game. 2 teams not making the playoffs. More injuries for the Commanders on the field. 30-0 Minnesota right now. If I'm the Washington Commanders, I'm putting in all of my backups right now. There is nothing to play for. Give younger players some field experience and throw this game out and go back to the drawing board. Pittsburgh is about to get a touchdown on the board. The Pittsburgh Steelers, who I ruled out, are playing well today against the Ravens. The winner of this game, again, will win the NFC North, or be in first place in the NFC North, but are on track to winning the NFC North with 4 to play. 26-16 Steelers, pending the extra point. Interesting enough, in Las Vegas, obviously there are NFL fans from everywhere. There are, bars for the Miami Dolphins. There are watch bars for the Pittsburgh Steelers, for the San Francisco 49ers, among others. Really interesting stuff living here. On an NFL Sunday, a NFL fan can find, for the most of the big teams or some of the historically popular teams, you can find a bar in Las Vegas that has fans from your team to watch the NFL regular season games, which is quite interesting, actually. So Seattle's finally warming it up. Looking like it's going to be 30-9 in a minute. I don't know what the Seahawks were thinking in that first half, though, when they only scored 6 points against the Falcons. Wasn't a very good start. They're going to finish strong, but not going to win playoff games starting like that, obviously. What are we looking at here? Let's take a look at some of the stats. Give me a minute. Let's go over there. Let's take a look. See, the Bills are dealing with a third down here potentially. Yeah, I guess we'll see how that goes. Jacksonville seems to be like they're on their way. A minute 41 left in the third quarter. They're already in scoring range again, 28-13 over the Colts right now. Seattle has just put the exclamation point on the game against the Atlanta Falcons. 12 minutes left, 30-9. Not likely the Falcons can score 3 touchdowns. Seattle's on their way to their 10th victory of the year. Seattle top 3, in my opinion, with a victory today in the NFC. Who knows what happens in that conference week to week? So many teams with a lot of victories. Again, be interesting to see how Green Bay does against Chicago today, but I expect that Green Bay will beat Chicago today. Division road games are tough. They're tough. They're tough. I think Green Bay's offense is better. I think all being equal, Green Bay's defense is as good as Chicago's, and Chicago's offense has a ton of question marks. So later games today, Rams against the Cardinals. You better watch out, Los Angeles Rams. You need to win that game after losing the Panthers. And Raiders. Maybe the Raiders will surprise today against the Broncos again, because division road games are tough, ladies and gentlemen. They are absolutely tough. But that's what we're looking at. Again, a lot of Broncos fans in town. A lot of NFR people in town for the rodeos. A lot of Cowboys on the Las Vegas Strip this week. You know, this is country week in Vegas. You know, the NFR rodeo thing goes on for, I think, 9 days, the 4th to the 13th. We're just in the middle of it, but it is yeehaw time in the entertainment capital of the world. Still a lot of time left, and you hold them to a field goal, there's plenty of time. I mean, again, anything can happen. When you have a snow game, fumbles, turnovers, missed field goals, a lot of time left. Bills defense has played a little bit better, obviously, these last couple of drives, but we'll see. Bills got a 3rd and 6 for the defense here. 10 minutes and 10 seconds left. This would be a big stop for the Buffalo Bills defense if they're able to hold here. Bills really need to win today to get to 9-4 on the year. Bengals are 4-8, but again, Joe Burrow's back. They're playing a little bit better. Can the Bengals pull 2 upsets in 2 weeks on the road? Christianic C1 review covering Las Vegas and the world. Here with our NFL Live reaction, Week 14. And of course, the Bills defense gives up a 1st down. That's going to be tough. 15-yard line now. Got to hold to a field goal attempt now for sure. If you're the Buffalo Bills defense, just missed getting to Burrow there on that one. Seems like the snow again has shut down a little bit. Ravens are in field goal range. 27-16 going to the 4th there. And the Tennessee Titans get an interception of quarterback Sanders, and they are back close to field goal range. Score right now, Cleveland 17, Tennessee 14 going to the fourth. Touchdown, Cincinnati. Bills are going to have to work quickly here, 27-18. We talked about at the top of the broadcast that this was a game that the Bills could not take for granted, and it's not looking great right now, but there's still 8 minutes and 44 seconds left. 27-18 Cincinnati, pending the extra point. Extra point is good by the Cincinnati Bengals. 28-18 Cincinnati over Buffalo. Buffalo better work quickly. Tennessee's going to take the lead on Cleveland. Tony Pollard, who, if you had nobody else to start in your fantasy football team this week, has 2 touchdowns for the Tennessee Titans this week. So if you were flexing in a running back because maybe Christian McCaffrey was on a bye potentially, and you had to go pick someone up off of free agency, Tony Pollard, he was on your bench. Tony Pollard and because you're thinking, well, 2 bad teams playing each other, so there could be some decent fantasy stats, right? Tony Pollard for the Tennessee Titans has 2 rushing touchdowns today. 20-17 Tennessee over Cleveland, pending the extra point. Again, extra points are not guaranteed anymore in the NFL. 17-17 Tampa Bay and New Orleans. Fourth quarter. 4th and 3 for Baker Mayfield. Incomplete pass. And the Saints are going to get the ball at midfield. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are struggling on offense. They just can't get in a rhythm these last couple of weeks. And this game is very much alive for the Saints to possibly win right now. Midfield. We always talk about how those division games are tough. Baltimore Ravens inside the 20-yard line right now against Pittsburgh. Baltimore needs to get a score here. That has just started in the 4th quarter. Battle of whatever happens here. The winner will be the first place leader in the AFC North. Baltimore really needs to get a touchdown on the board. Field goal would make it a 1-possession game, but the way that things are going right now, I want to have a touchdown if I'm Baltimore. I'm at the Pittsburgh 15-yard line. 2nd and 9 right now. Inside the 10 for Baltimore. Oh, he got up. Touchdown, Baltimore Ravens. But let's see if they reveal. They're going to put him down on the field. Yeah, I thought he was down. So it's going to be 3rd down. Though it looked like he got back up. But again, if you're down by contact, you're down by contact. He's on top of the defender, but his arm is down on the field. 3rd down coming up in Baltimore. And Pittsburgh. Chris Janek, C1 interview covering Las Vegas and the world. Whether you're watching this live or in our recorded session, thank you so much for watching. We're here giving our thoughts on NFL Week 14. 8 games going on right now. Lot to be played for in the playoff positions. Jacksonville, Indy. 4th quarter, Jacksonville, Indy has just started. Jaguars are inside the red zone, beating the Colts 28-13. And they're about to make it 34-13, but there are 2 penalty flags on the play. We'll have to check the markers there. Pittsburgh holding on to a lead against Baltimore 27-16, but the Ravens are in the red zone now with a 3rd and 4, trying to get this back to a 1-possession game. It's going to be a field goal attempt probably coming for Baltimore. I don't know if the Ravens go here. I don't think they will. I think you have to take the points and get it back to a one-possession game. Incomplete pass by Lamar Jackson there. I think the ball got tipped at the line. "28-yard field goal attempt for the Baltimore Ravens. Snap is down, kick is up. That is good. Makes it a one-possession game. It's going to be Pittsburgh 27, Baltimore 19. Seattle Seahawks defense has warmed up with another defensive turnover. They have got an interception. Time to just run out the clock in Atlanta. Seattle's up on Atlanta 30-9. Seattle's going to get to 10 wins on the year. Buffalo quickly. Buffalo with a touchdown on a Josh Allen run, but they've got to play defense. Josh Allen with a long run, 28-24, less than a minute after the Bengals scored their last touchdown. 7 minutes and 33 seconds still left in Buffalo and Cincinnati. Great run. And as I've always said, I said Cincinnati is, one of the most exciting teams to watch in the NFL because they have no defense. So lots of points amongst them and other teams. There can be these high-scoring fest games. I don't even know where the defenders were there for the Bengals, but Josh Allen made that one look easy. Pending extra point now. Out in the snow, the snap is down, the kick is up, and it is good. 28-25. Cincinnati over Buffalo. Maybe the game of the day right now. Back to Tampa Bay. New Orleans is outside the Tampa Bay 38, 37-yard line. Just as a reminder, if you weren't here earlier, the teams for the Las Vegas Bowl have been announced. The Nebraska Cornhuskers are going to play the Utah Utes. So it'd be a phenomenal game again. Nebraska Cornhuskers got to be one of the great traveling football schools in America, have a long history. 7-5 year, they'll end up playing the 10-2 Utah Utes. Should be a very interesting game. Utah, of course, right next door to Nevada. I know those fans will come in too. They've been here in the past for past games. Will be interesting to see welcoming the Utah Utes and the Nebraska Cornhuskers to the entertainment capital of the world for the Las Vegas Bowl, which I believe, again, is going to be on December 31st, if you haven't seen yet. And we'll continue to see more of the bowl announcements later in the day. And, of course, college football playoff seedings are out, brackets out. Be interesting to see. We'll talk more about that again probably before the end of this and in the evening show tonight in our recap of the week, which starts again at 9 o'clock Las Vegas time, midnight Eastern time here in Las Vegas. New York Jets are attempting a 31-yard field goal attempt. The Miami Dolphins quietly leading the New York Jets. Not much has gone on since the first quarter. They're 24-10, Miami over the Jets. Again, Miami wins today. They will keep their slim playoff hopes alive. Miami playing much better the last couple of weeks, but as I've said, all throughout the last couple of weeks, Miami Dolphins, where was this? Where was this early on in the year? Nowhere to be found, but trying to finish strong at least. 24-10 Miami over the Jets. 12 minutes left in that game. Saints are in field goal range here against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Have a chance to at least get 3. There's a third down coming up. There's 9 minutes left there. Tampa Bay just not playing well this year. They're just not playing well the last couple of weeks. Still, again, first place in the NFC South, but if they lose today, they'll be mathematically tied with the Panthers at 7-6 with 4 to play. They play twice again in week 16 and 18, so that division's up for grabs anyway. But a loss today makes it a lot easier for the Panthers to win the division because then they would both be tied after today. Panthers are on a bye this week. So are the San Francisco 49ers and the New England Patriots. Looks like the Saints have got a first down. 8 minutes and 56 seconds left. Saints are at the 17-yard line. It's going to be a timeout, I believe, by Tampa Bay here. (31-13), by the way, Jacksonville over Indianapolis. 12 minutes and 50 seconds left there. The winner will be in sole control of the AFC South. Jacksonville has warmed up the last couple of weeks. Houston, again, later tonight, Sunday Night Football. Last chance for the Kansas City Chiefs, Houston Texans. Loser of that game is probably eliminated from the playoffs. Winner of that game will keep their playoff hopes alive. But I don't think, Tom, the Colts, the way that the things are going there, I don't think the Colts are going to make the playoffs. So there may be some extra room for one extra team potentially in the AFC. Colts have got Daniel Jones out for the day. They got a rookie in there. It's not a great situation, obviously. The New Orleans Saints are going to score a touchdown on a quarterback run. Upset of the day, possibly right here, ladies and gentlemen. Tyler Shaw with a rushing touchdown for the New Orleans Saints. 23-17 Saints over the Bucs. Pending extra point coming down in Tampa Bay would be the upset of the day division road game right now. Saints, 2 wins on the year. 2 wins on the year, but playing tough right now. Again, these division games, always challenging because these teams play each other twice. They know each other a little bit more. They're used to the matchups. They know how to play. There's a lot more game experience. Saints winning. Extra point coming up here in Tampa Bay. Snap is down. The kick is up, and it's good. 24-17. 24-17. New Orleans over Tampa Bay. The Titans defense just got to Shedeur Sanders. Not good. Not very good. When you get sacked by the 1-11 team in the NFL, things are not going very good. Titans winning right now, 21-17. 3rd and 2nd and 7 coming up for the Bengals here at midfield. They're going to get a first down. Flag on the play, though. That may be coming back. Tom Buffalo, penalty will be declined. First down for the Bengals, 5 minutes left and change. Interception. And the Buffalo Bills are going to get bailed out by their defense, which hasn't been very good today. A pick 6 by the Buffalo Bills. Christian Benford with the touchdown for the Bills. The Bills now take the lead, but there's 5 minutes left. 31-28. Joe Burrow getting picked off by the Buffalo Bills defense. 31-28 Buffalo over Cincinnati. That's how things can change in a flash. Christian Benford with the pick 6 for the Buffalo Bills. And the Bills fan in the room is very happy right now and wants a stone cold Steve Austin. Hell yeah. Steve Austin, a past C1 review guest many years ago, of course. New on the C1 review channel, by the way, if you haven't taken a look, ladies and gentlemen, if you go to the list section, there's actually a section right now with some of our best, not all, some of our best pro wrestling C1 interviews from the past. So go check those out if you haven't already. Great playlist. There's a lot of good stuff there. Just as a recommendation, speaking of pro wrestling and Stone Cold Steve Austin. 5 minutes and 25 seconds left here in the fourth quarter. But Bengals will still have a chance. So while a pick six is great for the Bills, still got to hold. Bills need to win to keep the playoff hopes going alive. But I'm telling you, this Bengals team, they're going to play to the end. Doesn't matter if they have 4 victories and they lose today and they end up 4-9. They're going to be playing to the end. They are going to be playing to the end. Absolutely playing to the end. Extra point is good. 32-28 Buffalo over Cincinnati in the fourth. 10 minutes left in Jacksonville. Trevor Lawrence, we don't talk about him much, but he's looking good, and the offense is humming along for the Jaguars. There's no denying that this Jacksonville Jaguars team could absolutely make a run in the playoffs if they keep playing like this. Defense seems to be pretty good. Offense seems to be pretty good. Offense is improving every week, it looks like. They're having their way with the Indianapolis Colts, who, again, like 4 weeks ago, looked like a great team. But that Cinderella magic has ended for the Indianapolis Colts. The Colts may not even make the playoffs, amazingly as that is. Jacksonville 31-13, 9 minutes and 40 seconds left here. Jacksonville's currently in the red zone looking to add to their lead. If I'm Jacksonville, I don't do anything crazy here. I run the football, stuff like that. $37-9, by the way, Seattle over Atlanta. I think we can declare Seattle the first victor of the day with a couple minutes left there. Baltimore got the ball back against Pittsburgh. There's still 11 minutes left there. It's 27-19. Baltimore is inside the 35-yard line of Pittsburgh. Baltimore has got to find a way to get the touchdown here. Still a lot of time left, but you have to find a way to get those points. Tennessee's moving the ball. They're at the Cleveland midfield there. Cleveland midfield. Tennessee looking to get their second win of the NFL season. Tampa Bay, in the surprise of the day, is trailing the Saints. Tampa Bay moving the ball to the Saints' 25-yard line, but not very good right now. Not very good. Got to get a touchdown here if you're Tampa Bay. Another interception by the Buffalo Bills defense. And Buffalo will now be at the Cincinnati 30-yard line. Still, though, if the Bills are held to a field goal attempt, the Bengals could still tie this game up. If I'm Buffalo, I want to get a touchdown here and end this game. But it's amazing. Any given Sunday, any given minute, just like Las Vegas, 1 minute, someone's winning $1 million jackpot. The next minute, you're in the front row watching some of the greatest entertainers in the world. Vegas is ever changing, and so is the NFL. New resorts come and go. Old resorts move along. New things get built every day. A couple of minutes ago, Bills, not very good. Now looking very good. Beating the Cincinnati Bengals 32-28 right now. Again, I said to you at the beginning of this live today that the Cincinnati Bengals were absolutely capable of beating the Buffalo Bills today, even though they had 4 victories, and that the Bills could not take the Bengals for granted. They could not take them for granted one bit. Bills may be able to squeak this one out, potentially. But 5 minutes left there, 32-28 now, Buffalo over Cincinnati. Bucs are in the red zone. See if they can tie it up here against the Saints. 5 minutes and 52 seconds left here in the game. There's a false start penalty on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Got a critical 3rd and 8 coming up for Baltimore. Christian C1 Review covering Las Vegas and the world. We're in the fourth quarter. There are some really good ones going on right now. Pittsburgh 27, Baltimore 19, Buffalo 32, Cincinnati 28. The Miami Dolphins have put the exclamation point on their game against the New York Jets. 31-10 now, Miami over the Jets. Miami is going to keep their slim playoff hopes alive at least for another week. They play the Pittsburgh Steelers next week. And Miami can win again. Things might start getting interesting, given the fact, again, that the Colts look like they're not going to make the playoffs. They got a lot of injuries and a lot of issues. Might open the door for another team to get in, but we'll see what happens. Again, Texans and Chiefs tonight on Sunday Night Football, a big piece of that AFC wild card position. The loser of that game is going to be absolutely eliminated from the playoffs, in my opinion. I give the edge to Houston because Houston's just been playing better lately. KC, a disappointing year so far at 6-7 after the loss to the Cowboys on Thanksgiving Day last week. Chiefs are in a you must win all or nothing will happen situation. Ravens are attempting a field goal because there's still 7 minutes left. That kick is up, and that's good. 27-22 now. Pittsburgh over Baltimore with 7 minutes and 10 seconds left in the fourth quarter. I'll put that in the chat. No one ever said that these games are easy in the division, whether you're on the road or you're at home. But Baltimore's going to have to win a last-minute thing here potentially, and it's going to be 4th and 13 for the Bucs against the Saints with 4 minutes and 58 seconds left. Saints defense holds the Bucs in the red zone. I'm guessing you're going to be kicking a field goal if you're Tampa Bay here. It's just not looking good today for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It is not looking good. I don't think you're going for it on 4th and 13, so probably a Buccaneers field goal coming up. They still have 2 timeouts and the 2-minute warning left as well with 4 minutes and 58 seconds left, so there's plenty of time still for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We're on 2nd and goal for the Bills here. Now I see 2nd and goal. See if the Bills can clean it out here against the 4-8 Bengals. Going to be 3rd and goal. So here's my question. If the Bills don't get it here on 3rd and goal, are they kicking a field goal or are they going for a touchdown because they're at the 3-yard line? That's what inquiring minds want to know. Are you kicking that field goal or are you giving the Bengals the ball at their own 2-yard line? It's going to be interesting to see here what happens on 3rd and goal in Buffalo and Cincinnati. The stats for running back James Cook today for the Buffalo Bills, 17 rushes on 77 yards. No touchdowns yet. 3:17 left in Buffalo and Cincinnati. A huge 3rd and goal coming up for the Bills and the Bengals here. See if the Bills can put the exclamation point on this game or if the Bengals are going to keep it interesting for the next 3 minutes. That run's coming up. Josh Allen with the touchdown. And that's why he's one of the top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL. Dawson Knox from Josh Allen. He was about to go out of the bounce, throws it up in the last seconds, finds a wide receiver in the end zone. It looks like Buffalo is going to keep their playoff hopes looking good for another week. Buffalo touchdown pass from Josh Allen. 38-28 Buffalo right now. Bills fans have to be relieved. That has to be a sigh of relief against a 4-8 Bengals team who's playing much better than their record right now. Touchdown, Tennessee Titans. Titans, if they win today, would move to 2 wins on the year, which then could make the first pick in the NFL draft interesting for the rest of the year. But the Titans are up on the Browns right now, 27-17. Not a good showing today for the Cleveland Browns, who should find a way to beat the 1-11 Tennessee Titans at home. Titans playing well today. Another touchdown pass from Cam Ward. Going to be 28-18 in a minute here, pending the extra point. All right, so the touchdown for the Bills did not count, apparently. Guess it was ruled incomplete. The Bills are going for it, as I expected they would, or at least they're going to try to draw maybe they'll try to draw the Bengals offside. 4th and goal here, 32-28 still. I apologize. We take the points off the board. And they find it a second time, unbelievably. 4th and goal, snow angels happening in the NFL. Jackson Hawes with the touchdown for the Bills. Don't get the touchdown on 3rd and goal. You get it on 4th and goal. I told you they'd go for it. They were not going to kick a field goal there. Knowing how their Bills defense is and how things have been going and how this Bengals offense has been playing. Josh Allen, again, that's why he's one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. They don't get it on 3rd and goal, but they do convert on 4th and goal. Get the touchdown right there over the middle. 38-28. Tight end wide open in the end zone. Who's always open in the NFL? The tight end. The tight end is the one that's always open. 38-28. Pending extra point coming. 3 minutes and 3 seconds left. Kick is up. It is good. 39-28 now officially Buffalo and Cincinnati. I like the hair. It looks cute. Yeah. Maybe after I get the car settlement money. Moving along. Christian XC1 review covering Las Vegas and the world. 4th quarter here. Looks like the Ravens are going to get the ball back. 27-22. 27-22. Steelers and Ravens. Ravens are going to get the ball back with 5 minutes left. Battle of the AFC North here. (24-20) Saints and Buccaneers. Two minutes and 21 seconds left. Yeah, I figured that Notre Dame would decline to play in a bowl game, honestly, to tell you the truth. Why would they care at this point if they are not making the college football playoff? Looks like the Bengals are going to try to move the ball here on the Bills here. Try to make it a one-score game. Get to the onside kick. Kicking an onside kick in the snow. It's not going to be easy. Incomplete pass there. Christian XC1 review covering Las Vegas and the world. We're here in the entertainment capital of the world, where NFR Rodeo Week is currently going on from the 4th to the 13th, I believe. All the Cowboys are in town. The Denver Broncos fans are in town. All that good stuff. Touchdown, Cincinnati Bengals. Well, it looks like this game is going to have an exciting last 2 minutes. T. Higgins with the touchdown, 39-34. Baltimore Ravens are moving the football to midfield. We're looking at maybe a last-second Ravens touchdown here. 5 minutes left. 27-22 Pittsburgh and Baltimore. My prediction was Baltimore would win the AFC North, take control of it. They'd beat the Steelers today. We're going to see if that's going to happen. Christianic NFL. We are getting down to the last couple of minutes now here in these exciting games. Buffalo and Cincinnati, 39-34 right now. 2 minutes and 13 seconds left. Buffalo must hold off the Cincinnati Bengals to keep their playoff hopes alive. They must. They must hold off to keep those playoff hopes alive. Field goal attempt by the Jacksonville Jaguars with 4 minutes left. 36-13 Jacksonville over Indy. Fourth and 5 for the Baltimore Ravens here with 3 timeouts. I don't know why you would go for this. I would be punting the football here if I was the Ravens, because I've got 3 timeouts in the 2-minute warning, but they're going for it and they're going to get it. They're going to get it. Ravens move the ball against the Steelers. Looks like the Buccaneers are going to have one last chance against the Saints, but the Saints are going to be able to keep them punted deep, probably in like side the 5-yard line. Baltimore's going to have a 3rd and 8 at midfield with 4 minutes left. Block punt by the Tennessee. I have to tell you, I just can say whatever you want about the Tennessee Titans having a 1-11 record. They're playing well today against the Browns, 31-17 after a block punt, and that set them up for a field goal attempt. See what Baltimore can do here. They're inside the 15-yard line now. Can they take the lead? One last chance for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That ball is almost intercepted by the Saints defense. At the same time, the Steelers just intercepted Lamar Jackson inside the 5, which doesn't really matter, though, because it's a touchdown. It wasn't an interception. Touchdown Baltimore. Looked like an interception. I'm sorry. But touchdown Baltimore Ravens, 28-27. I correct myself there. Baltimore has taken the lead on Pittsburgh. The Saints are playing like they are the Packers or Bears or the Lions defense right now against the Buccaneers. There's a 4th down upcoming here for the Buccaneers. This is going to be the game right here because Tampa Bay has no timeouts remaining. Tampa Bay has no timeouts remaining. Fourth and 4 for the Bucs. If they do not convert this first down, the game is going to be over. I don't think he got there. I do not think he got there. They're going to review that, obviously. See what the officials have to say. It's a first down, New Orleans. Wow. Upset of the day in the NFL, ladies and gentlemen. The New Orleans Saints have defeated the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 24-20. The 2-win New Orleans Saints now have victories over the now tied first place Carolina Panthers and Tampa Bay Buccaneers with 4 weeks to go. congrats to the New Orleans Saints on winning their third game of the NFL season. Any given Sunday, they always talk about. Got to give them all the credit in the world. So. Buffalo Bills are going to get out with a victory against the Bengals, 39-34. Yeah. Bills games are exciting, but Bengals games are exciting too. Another classic Cincinnati Bengals football game. The Buffalo Bills beat the Cincinnati Bengals 39-34. Bills will move and get their 9th victory of the year. It'll be 9-4 now. The Bengals fall to 4-9, but I'm going to tell you something. The last 4 weeks of the year, I know the Dolphins have to play the Bengals. There's some other teams who have to play the Bengals. Not very good. Not very good. The Bengals will be playing strong until the last game of the NFL season. They're going to beat anybody on any given week, potentially. They're a good team. They're good enough to win, even with their 4 victories. So let's go back. The Ravens did not get the touchdown. The Ravens are still on the field. And yeah, the Ravens are still on the field. So it's 27-22 Pittsburgh. I don't know what's going on there. No idea. But Steelers are still winning by 5, and the Ravens are still in the red zone. Ravens do not convert in the red zone, but they have 3 timeouts in the 2-minute warning. So this game is far from over. Lamar Jackson with an incomplete pass there. So let's go over our scoreboard for today here in Las Vegas. Finals in the NFL. Final scores: Minnesota 31, Washington nothing. Seattle 37-9 over the Falcons. 24-20 Saints over the Buccaneers. Bills win. Game of the day so far, 39-34. Saints upset the Buccaneers again, 24-20. Buccaneers and Panthers now tied for first in the NFC South. And for those wondering, the 4 o'clock games have started. Raiders-Broncos playing right now. Good luck. Everyone who's at the game today, have a good time. No score, Broncos and Raiders. Early on game right down the road here in Las Vegas at Allegiant Stadium. Third and 7 probably coming up for the Steelers here. So if they hold them here, the Ravens will have 1 timeout left with the 2-minute warning, potentially. Chris Shannon, C1 Review, covering Las Vegas and the world. We're getting to the end of the 8 early games in the NFL already. The big upset of the day, the New Orleans Saints win their 3rd game of the year, beating the 7-6 Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Bad loss for the Buccaneers at home. Saints win 24-20. Exciting game of the day. Buffalo Bills get their 9th win of the NFL season, keep their playoff hopes alive, beating the Cincinnati Bengals 39-34. Baltimore Ravens are going to get the football back, 4th and 7. They'll be punting from their own end zone. So Ravens will have a shot here to win the football game again, 2nd time. Colts not giving up 36-19 right now. 1 minute and 51 seconds left there. Sanders got a rushing touchdown for the Browns, but they're still down against the Titans, 31-23. But the Titans then get a defensive 2 points on the 2-point conversion. Nope, they don't get that. 31-23 right now. The Miami Dolphins win today. They get their 6th win of the year. Continue their swim playoff hopes, 34-10 over the Jets. What we've got remaining: Steelers, Ravens, Titans, Browns, and Jaguars are going to run the clock out on the Colts, winning 36-19. Okay, so here's the storyline. The Ravens have to go about 80 yards to win this football game in a minute and about 56 seconds. And that's what we're basically looking at right now. Final score, Jacksonville beats Indianapolis 36-19. Jacksonville now has sole possession of the AFC South officially. Colts, not looking good and probably not going to make the playoffs now if they keep this up. 8-5 now. Colts were 8-2 a couple weeks ago. Not looking good. 2 minutes left in the Titans and the Browns. 31-23 Titans over the Browns. They have updated the AFC playoff picture. The Bengals are no longer on the screen. Miami is now sitting there. The in the hunt teams, Houston, Pittsburgh, Kansas City, and Miami. Because Indianapolis lost today and is falling off, there may be an opening for Miami. There may be an opening for Kansas City potentially to possibly make the playoffs. So those teams are now 2 games back, and Houston also. So the point be told is that if Indianapolis continues to lose, which I think they will because they've got a lot of injuries, Miami has opened the door for a potential. The slim possibilities of the playoffs are still slim because you're 2 back with 4 to play. But it looks a little bit better now than it did a week ago. So Miami Dolphins fans have something to root for next week against the Steelers, which will be a tough game. Chiefs and Texans may be in the driver's seat to win that 7 seed with a victory tonight, potentially. So if you were the 6th seed, let's take a look and let's think about this. Ready? Broncos and Patriots in the top 2, potentially. So you'd probably face Jacksonville in the first round. That would be a tough game at Jacksonville. You know, I have to tell you, in these final minutes of the Cleveland and Titans game here, 4th and 2 for the Ravens here. They need to get the first down. They're going to make it. Ravens still alive, but they've got no timeouts left. They're at midfield. They have got to hurry. They've got to hurry. They've got to hurry. They've got to hurry. "30 seconds left for the Ravens and the Steelers. Ravens are inside the 38-yard line, but they have no timeouts remaining. Better hurry, gotta hurry, gotta hurry. 15 seconds, 16 seconds left for the Ravens and the Steelers. No timeouts for the Ravens. They're down 5, 27-22. Ravens have to get in the end zone to win the football game. Kind of had to chuck it here now, right? I don't know. Can you chuck it 20 yards? 20-yard sideline play, or are you chucking to the end zone? I don't know, with 16 seconds left. No timeouts. Looks like the Steelers are going to call a timeout here. They're going to make sure they're in position here. The AFC North is on the line here right now. 16 seconds left. 27-22 Steelers and Ravens. Another pass out of bounds, about 9 yards. So it's got third down now. But it's not going to really matter because there's 9 seconds left here. I think he got 2 heaves to the end zone, and that's pretty much it anyway. Got time for 2 plays. Well, that's going to do it because the Steelers have sacked Lamar Jackson. Surprisingly, the Pittsburgh Steelers win today, 27-22. Did not expect that one. Steelers are still alive for the playoffs. They get now first place in the AFC North, but there's still 4 games left in the season, and the Steelers and the Ravens still play one more time in Week 18. But surprisingly, Steelers beat the Ravens today, 27-22. I'll give them all the credit. Did not expect to see that happen today. So maybe Aaron Rodgers will be making the playoffs, potentially. But there's still 4 games left. Last game now, Titans and Browns, 31-23, a minute 17 left here. Browns are trying to get a touchdown here to tie this up. Christian XC1 review covering Las Vegas and the world. We're almost 3.5 hours into our NFL Live today. Other games are about to kick off. Chicago, Green Bay, and Rams, Arizona. Of course, our hometown Raiders are playing right now. They're at midfield against the Broncos. 7-0 Broncos already against the Raiders, but the hometown team is driving. Got to get the 2-point conversion though. Bears are going to get the ball first in the Packers game. Touchdown Browns. This one may be going to overtime. Harold Fannin Jr. with the catch for the Cleveland Browns. Still got to get the 2-point conversion, though. And the 2-point conversion is no good. How many people do you think started him on their fantasy team this week, Tom, or in those weekly weeks with their 2 quarterback subs? Probably nobody. But again, when you're playing the worst team in the NFL and you put up those numbers, that's great, but you're still losing, which means that there's still some deficit there to be had, right? So, not very good. You know, there's one person out there that took a shot in some weekly fantasy pool contest. Because what you don't expect to happen in the NFL usually ends up happening, like the Saints beating the Buccaneers today. That's what ends up happening usually. We'll see what the onside kick situation is here for the Browns and the Titans before we wrap up. Cardinals moving the ball already against the Rams here in the first quarter. As I say today, the Rams are going to have a tough game against the Rams. The Rams are going to have a tough day against the Cardinals. Touchdown Las Vegas Raiders to end the first quarter. Brock Bowers with a touchdown, tight end for the Raiders, gets a touchdown on the last play of the first quarter. 7-6 Denver over the Raiders pending the extra point. And it looks like the Titans. So the Titans got the football, but here's the thing. They have 2 timeouts remaining. So in theory, the Browns could still get the football back. So that game's not over yet. Brock Bowers, Las Vegas Raiders tied on with a touchdown. Last play of the first quarter again. Pending extra point coming. The kick is up and good for the Raiders. 7-7 Raiders and Broncos after 1 quarter. Good start for the Las Vegas Raiders against the first place Denver Broncos in the AFC West there. Michael Wilson touchdown for the Cardinals. As I said earlier in the live today, this would not be an easy one for the Rams and the Cardinals today. The camera go off? Hang on, ladies and gentlemen. Technical difficulties. Be right back. All right, everybody. Unfortunately, our camera has died. Unfortunately, the battery died on our camera. This usually doesn't happen. We apologize for this, but we'll be back later tonight with our NFL Live show finishing up at 9 p.m. Las Vegas time, where we'll recap everything. We apologize for this technical inconvenience. Hope you enjoyed our NFL Live this week. Again, congrats to the Steelers today and the Buffalo Bills and the New Orleans Saints, big victors today in the NFL. I'm Chris Shandick for CY Interview. We will see you back again here later tonight. Have a good day and enjoy the rest of your NFL Sunday.